Welcome to the AfterMat, your source for WWE pay-per-view recaps. I'm your host, the People's Champ, Cal, and alongside me, as always, I have my tag team partner, the Glamazon, Delisha. Hey, Delisha.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Well, I feel like it's been a while. Like, I guess the last time we talked was like SummerSlam, but like, I guess has it been like longer? It's usually like every other week, right? So they skipped like one
Yeah,
pay-per-view cycle, I think it was. Or
yeah.
maybe not. I don't know.
It's definitely been a couple of weeks though, only because since they're now into like WrestleMania. I mean, not WrestleMania. Well, sort of. We're about to be on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
so last night was the SmackDown, though that's the pay-per-view we're talking about today. SmackDown brand Clash of the Champions, right? So
hmm
I I think more like we were talking about this before that like wasn't Survivor Series kind of like Clash of Champions because it was like the Raw champion versus the SmackDown champion and like so on and so forth. Like how is this different from any other pay per view? Why was this called Clash of Champions?
Because it's just SmackDown.
Right, but like why? Like it's
I
like oh every title's on the line. When is every title not on the line on a pay per view? Pretty much, once in a while they'll have like they won't have a title on the line. Maybe the U.S. champions like in a tag team match or something, or something like that. But I feel like that was their gimmick for being the Clash of Champions. Like I don't think that was a good gimmick. Like I feel like Survivor Series is more of Clash of Champions since the Raw fought the SmackDown champion in every single way and form. You know what I mean? I don't know.
basically, yeah.
So yeah,
I was gonna say they should just rename it something else by now.
Or kept the other name Night of Champions.
yes. Well, but still the same thing. I think it was the
Yes.
same thing. And that voice from the rafters is our fact checker, Joe. He's up there hanging with Sting right now, and maybe he'll drop himself down by
Yeah,
a cable
playing,
later.
they're playing poker and eating Chinese food and
Oh, okay. Is he playing poker with the dog? Because that'd be cool. It would be like that painting of dogs playing poker.
Unfortunately, our dog's in timeout right now.
Oh, okay. Well, so yeah. So overall, what do you think of the pay per view before we get into actually the matches and stuff?
Overall, I was pretty into it. It's one of the few pay-per-views that I wasn't on my phone the whole time. Because usually I'm just like I'm like following along with Twitter and see what they're saying and things like that. This time I was actually more into the matches more than I have been in a while. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, for me, I fell asleep a few times, so I have to rewind it. And like I know at the last match, it ended because I was like I saw when I woke up, it was like the SmackDown talk or whatever, and I was like, oh no, I missed the ending. And then I have text from you and from Tom. Well, I guess we gotta say hi to Tom in the chat, by the way. Hey Tom, he's in the chat. Tom's our roving reporter of AfterMat, our Brock Lesnar correspondent. Which we had no Brock Lesnar matches, but maybe he'll have a story to tell us. Who knows? Um, so you guys both texted me, and I'm like, I can't look because they're gonna tell me who won that Jinder AJ Styles match, and I was like, I don't want to know. Like, I got to rewind it and watch it, and we'll get to that later at the end of the night. But yeah, I don't know. I was like kind of like I felt like a lot of it. It started off really hot, and then like it kind of died down towards after a few matches. So that's how I felt about it.
When a certain person got in the ring, that's when it went. That's when it got quiet for me.
Um,
If you've been watching along these past couple months, you know who I'm talking about. People.
well, the night started off with the pre-show match, which was Mojo Rawley versus Zack Ryder, which I could care less about this feud. We knew that they were going to turn one of them was going to turn on the other. We knew that was going to happen. I don't even know why it happened because I don't watch SmackDown or anything, but you probably know the story better. But basically, Rawley dominated from the bell to bell, but there was like one outburst of offense that Ryder had. But then Rawley hit them running for him and put his former partner away and won the match. I don't know. That's all I had to say about that match. Did you have anything about the story or anything that you had insights on that match?
The only reason that they kept getting was because Zach was holding him back or something like that. I again, like you, I wasn't really into it. I didn't care. I only cared about Mojo Rawley because of the hype rolls on NXT. That's when they were utilized best. But other than that, I was like, yeah. The only notes I have was that was a match, and yeah.
And I'm pretty sure we're gonna have that saying a little bit later in the night because there was another match that was just a match and that was it. And lasted. I know you had a stopwatch for that match too, but we'll get to that in a little while. So the night started off with a really good match, in my opinion, was the U.S. Championship match: Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler versus Bobby Roode. I think Dolph Ziggler was just thrown into the match last minute, maybe on SmackDown because I fast forward through everything, so I don't know what happens. But I think he was thrown on last minute. Ziggler and Roode teamed up at the beginning of the match against the champion. But whenever Baron Corbin was in the match, Ziggler kind of shied away from fighting, like he was like skulking in the corner or anything like that. after they kind of like dispatched Baron Corbin for a while, Dolph focused his efforts on Bobby Roode, and then like there was like a Tower of Doom moment where there's a superplex on the top, but then Baron Corbin also hit a powerbomb at the same time. Both of them are down. Both the two challengers are down, and then they all start going at it after each other. Finally, Bobby Roode gained some momentum, landed a glorious DDT on Dolph. Corbin broke it up by pulling Roode off Ziggler's body. Then the Lone Wolf went off on Roode by using a chokeslam backbreaker on the outside. Then Ziggler, then he was about to finish. Corbin was about to finish Bobby Roode off with Deep Six, not Deep Six, sorry.
End of Days.
End of Days. But at the same time, Ziggler came from behind and hit the zigzag, and then got the pin, and he won. He's a new U.S. champion, which is not as glorious as I guess as I shouldn't use the word glorious. It's not as awesome as or prestigious as the IC title in WWE's eyes, right? But it's still pretty cool, and something I feel like Ziggler's gonna leave eventually, maybe go to another company, jump ship because he's not happy. But like, let's throw a belt on him and try to keep him a little longer. I think that's how they felt. Because like, what's going on with Corbin? Like, they're just like, they should have kept that belt on Miz, man. Like, why did Miz lose it in the first place? But I guess he was going to go film the Marine 5 or 7 or whatever Marine they're up to now. But man, like, Miz shouldn't have lost it. But I can understand why he lost it. But why did Corbin, who's going to lose it the next pay-per-view right after that or whatever it is, like, I think it was kind of stupid. Oh wait, is Miz the Intercontinental Champion? Or I don't even know what's going on.
It's Reigns. Reigns the Intercontinental.
Oh, wait,
because Miz is shooting a movie.
Oh wait, but Miz fought Corbin, didn't he? Oh, that was for the title versus title at SmackDown, wasn't it? I mean, the Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Okay, never. Yeah, see, I get confused because like Miz moves back and forth so many times. He's both the champ. He's always U.S. or Intercontinental Champion. I get confused.
Yeah.
Regardless, Miz should never lose any title. That's how I feel. Oh, now Tom's back. No problem, Tom. What's going on? Yeah, so whatever. Miz should never lose any title that he has, in my opinion. But back to the U.S. title, I don't see why Baron Corbin. Who did he even beat for it?
Who did he beat the U.S. title again? See, it's been so crazy that I forgot.
John Cena?
AJ?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't. It was AJ.
Okay, AJ Styles. All right, well, like, yeah, see what I mean? Like, people he beat, and then, like, that kind of made, like, a big deal. Like, oh, my God, I thought he was in the doghouse. No, now he's not in the doghouse, but then he loses it again. Like, I don't know. How'd you feel about this match? Hey, Pinhead, welcome.
It was better than I thought it would be because I've been sort of like seesawing with my views on Dolph and Baron Corbin. The only person I kind of cared about was Bobby Roode. Me and Joe were saying last night, like, all three of them kind of need the belt right now because they weren't really being dealt with storyline wise well. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with Dolph now that he has the title. It's always hit or miss with them when he gets a title. I feel like his last big reign was when he won the World Heavyweight Championship, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, Baron. Now I don't know like what the heck they're gonna do with Baron. And then Roode can carry himself. He gets himself over whatever he does. So I feel like either one of them would have been well to win the title. Now it's just a matter of what are they going to do with the other two.
Right. I feel like Bobby Roode still has time to like work his way up. I think them three together could form a good stable too. I think that would be a cool stable that eventually could form, but who knows? They'll probably drop the ball with that too. More having like Ziggler and Roode as a mouthpiece and Corbin being the muscle kind of behind it. Or somehow form a tag team with one of those two and Corbin, I think. Or you can even have the Shawn Michaels Diesel thing with, Ziggler being the Shawn Michaels and Corbin being the Diesel kind of thing. I don't know. Any of those things would probably work for me. Just as long as like Corbin's not in the main spotlight. I mean, I don't know how to feel about him yet. I know you watched him through NXT and all that, so I don't know how to feel about him yet. But I was a huge Roode fan, from, back in wherever else he came from. We won't mention that. So Tom in the chat says, how do I feel about this first match? Well, he missed the end of it. He had to ask me what happened, and Dolph sucks. So that's what he says about it. But I don't know. Overall, I thought this was a great match. Good action. I was happy with the outcome. Unfortunately, Tom wasn't, but I was. How did you feel about the match and the outcome?
Yeah, it was fine. Like I said, I would have been happy if either three of them had won because I feel like it each puts them on a certain path. I'm just curious what they're gonna do with the two losers, so to speak. Well, like you said, Bobby Roode, he kind of like I said, he kind of carries himself where he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just like, oh, what's Corbin gonna go? I'm pretty sure he's gonna ask for a rematch on Tuesday, so and probably lose. So yeah, we'll see. We shall see.
Tom in the chat says, Dolph is so uninteresting. He makes the super kick finisher look dumb. I kind of like that. He likes Corbin. He thinks he's cool. Deserves to keep getting shafted, and doesn't deserve to keep getting shafted. I kind of like how Ziggler comes up to no music, but yet when he won, he had music all of a sudden. Like, right?
Yeah,
Because it was weird.
Yeah, that's clear right there. They don't know what to do.
The next match, which was the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, but it was like a fatal 4-way, but it was like a tornado match or something, but not elimination, just a tornado match where like one member of each team was in the ring or something like that, and the only way the other member can come in is if they were tagged. So it's the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos versus the New Day versus Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin versus Rusev and Aiden English. I don't know what's going on with Rusev's story, but everyone likes him all of a sudden. I have no idea what's going on. You could probably explain that to me in a second after I go over what happened in the match. So the New Day squared off with Gable and Benjamin, and Rusev and English focused on the Usos. Eventually, all hell broke loose, and the teams were at each other's throats. The first near fall came when Rusev locked Big E in the Accolade, but Big E was able to power out of it. Then Gable locked Jay in a Cloverleaf, and then we had a cool moment when Kofi jumped off the top and Benjamin powerbombed him. Then Gable proceeded to German suplex pretty much anything in sight with a cool like sunset, reverse sunset, high angle German suplex, which is really cool. Then he found himself in the Uso penitentiary, and then the champs finished him off with a super kick and a splash off the top combo for the victory. And the Usos won. They retained. And like I love saying that. Like the tag team matches, tag team division is great, man. It's going great. Last few reviews, we've been saying it continuously. It's been one of the best matches of the night. Tom in the chat's asking for us, do we prefer the heel Usos or face Usos? He feels like heel Usos make it more interesting. I agree with you, Tom. The heel Usos are so much better, in my opinion. But I did like their face intro when they did the Haka dance in the beginning. I really like that. Paying homage to their culture and stuff like that. That was cool.
Yeah,
but the heel ones are better. So Delicious, you're gonna go behind the stories and how you felt about the match too. Why is Rusev? What's celebrate Rusev Day? Like, what is going on? What did I miss?
Well, I like to think of Aiden English as almost like Rusev's. I almost said Rusev. I don't know what. Anyway, Rusev. Think of it as his like advocate. I can't quite remember how them two got thrown together. I'm pretty sure Joe could tell us maybe. But Aiden English just started using his singing talents to sing about Rusev Day. Lately it's been holiday themed as the 12 days of Rusev. Which I find it very delightful. I think it's pretty cool, and the fans just really love it, and it basically have gotten Rusev over. So I think we're gonna see Rusev for a little bit, which is great because the man he puts in good work, as we've seen in this match. Like he was doing amazing. They were making him look strong, which is what I loved. Bringing him back to that like destroyer Rusev, but still in a face type of way. Yeah, this whole match just had like not one weak point about it. Chad Gable's just basically going suplex city on everybody, and Shelton Benjamin showing his athleticism. The Usos, everyone showing great athletic ability. I really enjoyed this match. This might be my favorite match. I'm still not sure, but yeah, this might be my favorite match of the night. And I'm really glad the Usos won because they've been touting dominance for the last couple of pay-per-views. I would like to see that keep rolling on, possibly pass into WrestleMania. And we have our Spectre who finally came down from the rafters. You want to give your thoughts on the match?
She didn't even notice me here.
Hey, Joe.
Segments.
So what do you think of the match?
The tag team match was great as usual. The tag team match always seems to be a very high point in the pay-per-view schedule, in the pay-per-view lineup. Everybody was on their A game, and And I mean, and Xavier Woods was on the outside talking trash whenever Biggie and Kofi were in control. And then in the end, the rightful team. I mean, I feel like the rightful team won the match, which was the Usos, and that they retained and showed how strong a champion they are. And especially, it seems as though which is good considering how they're kind of being like winners right now, because in like some cases they're kind of seen as their act is more of a heel, but in some ways they're being pushed as like a baby face just so they can, I guess, just because of how popular they are. But either way, the Usos can easily carry whatever they're given. They've pretty much been great ever since I've been watching the WWE product.
I feel like it, like Leisha's saying, if they do hold it to WrestleMania, like I wonder what tag team would come up. I hope it's not the New Day, because I don't want to see them against the New. I love those matches, but I don't want to see them lose it to the New Day. I want to see some new tag team come up, whether it be the new Sledgehammer Brothers or whatever the hell they're called, or like the Authors of Pain, Bash Brothers. What are they called? Bludgeon Brothers. Bludgeon Brothers. Yeah, I have to look at my notes. Which is, I think, yeah, I mean, they're cool. Those two guys are cool. I like their character, but I mean, them beating the Usos, they're probably gonna beat the Usos eventually. But I wouldn't mind seeing Shelton Benjamin and like Kurt Angle become a tag team. I don't know what it is, but I just anybody besides the New Day. That's all. Like, I don't mind the New Day, but like I'm just sick of seeing them. I love their matches. Don't get me wrong. With New Day and Usos, I love their matches, but I don't want to see them go again and like just keep trading the title back and forth. Let's have a prestigious run like the New Day had. But I don't know. That's how I feel. Have someone worthy get the title, and then which I think the Usos are worthy right now. If someone's gonna beat the Usos, have it a worthy team, not someone who's gonna hold it for like 2 months and not do anything with it, or like lose the next pay-per-view back and forth kind of thing.
Agreed.
Our next match was the SmackDown Women's Championship match featuring Charlotte Flair versus Natalya, and now the women are called Lumberjacks, no longer called Lumberjills. So that's the thing. It was all women who kind of supported Natalya, except for Naomi, who was in Charlotte Flair's kind of corner. Because, when they get thrown out, usually the heels beat up the face, and the faces beat up the heel. But this is all basically on Natalya's side. So they all beat up Charlotte when she got out of the ring, except for Naomi, who was sided with Charlotte. Basically a brawl in the entire match. Natalya used the advantage of the Lumberjacks to send around in the ring to do damage to Charlotte. She kept throwing Charlotte out. There's some botched throwouts too as well. But when they're thrown to the outside, like it would be either the Riot Squad fighting them or who else was out there? I have no idea.
The Welcome
Committee. Oh, the Welcome Committee. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was either that, and they were fighting each other. Eventually, like all of them were outside the ring, and Charlotte did her beautiful moonsault off the top turnbuckle to the outside. I think she actually hit Tamina awkwardly, because I think you see at one point after, like, she gets up, she goes over to Tamina and like whispers in her ear. So I don't know if she hits, like, might have hit her by accident or something happened. And then Charlotte was able to lock in the figure 8 on Natalya and win and retain her championship. And I remember texting you before this match saying, I hope the Carmella was there. Where I was like, maybe Tom and I were talking about this earlier, but like, you think Carmella would
cash in?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get that, Tom. Sorry, just to go back. Tom's hoping that they get Usos versus English and Rusev. That's probably gonna happen, Tom. But yeah, before the night, we're saying Carmella would be a good opportunity for her to cash in, because all the Lumberjills would go in, or Lumberjacks would go in and beat up whoever won or whatever, and then Carmella would do it. And we kind of almost had that tease, but then the Riot Squad like knocked Carmella out, right? So they kind of put the kibosh on that. And like, I just think this match, like, what's the point of Lumberjills or Jacks, or whatever? It was just stupid. Like, nothing. Like, I don't know. They did what they're supposed to do, but like, it just didn't seem like it was necessary. That's all. I rather would have had a better technical match between the two women, because they're great wrestlers. I don't know. Well, how'd you feel?
About the same. I feel like Lumberjack matches are probably better suited for the TV matches, not pay-per-views, just because they don't really, unless they're going to tell a story within a story, which of course they didn't, then that's when I don't mind it. But this didn't really serve a purpose except to get all the women on a pay-per-view at once. To be honest, I didn't really care for the match. I I don't know. Natty this last couple of weeks, as far as like their feud, just wasn't doing it for me. I don't know if she was just doing too much or too little. I don't know. It wasn't hitting home for me. And then I'm not the biggest Charlotte fan. Like she puts in great work, of course, but I'm just not the big fan. So maybe it's just I didn't feel like seeing them too in a match. But this match is just pretty average. Like I don't know. It's just they hit such a high peak, them two, on that fantastic NXT Women's match a couple of years ago, that it's going to be forever on a highlight reel. And those two have not. I don't think they've superseded that match. Maybe there was because of the person who was running that program, there was a better story behind it. But I don't know. This match didn't do it for me.
And like I think we had what seemed to be Natalia's retirement. We don't know. It's probably a fake retirement or whatever. We don't know I didn't understand what was going on in the match.
So weird.
But yeah, I really couldn't care less about anything that happened there. Charlotte's next opponent, I have no idea. I have no idea. Probably someone from the Riot Squad, and then have Carmella maybe slip in and win the title and say, "Oh, I was in charge of the Riot Squad the whole time." Maybe, who knows? That'd be kind of cool. I did see unfortunately, my girl Liv Morgan, she missed a punch. She actually hit Sarah Logan in the back of the head, and Becky Lynch and her are feuding right now on Twitter. And Becky Lynch actually has a gif of her doing. She's like Becky. I forgot what Liv Morgan said something first about like Becky Lynch. Like we get squeamish on the inside when you like say something like some phrase of hers, and then Becky Lynch is like, we get squeamish on the outside when we see you wrestle. And she had a gif of Liv Morgan hitting Sarah Logan in the back of the head, not Charlotte. It was pretty bad. But I saw it live. Like when I saw that, I'm like, oh, did that just happen? Oh, I felt so bad.
Poor Liv.
But they are coming to New Jersey next week for SmackDown. I was thinking about going, or maybe just hanging around in her hometown because she lives 5 minutes away from me, and like it's a big area. Like there's a popular areas that she'd probably be at. She might be going to the mall or something. Not that I'm stalking her. It'd be just cool to see her. We live 5 minutes away from each other, so it's just pretty cool.
Maybe she'll post it on Instagram.
Tom, yeah, maybe Tom or Snapchat, yeah, maybe. Tom is asking why they called Liv up so early. Because Alexa Bliss left SmackDown and they needed another girl who looked exactly like her. I have no idea.
Yeah, when she came out and the I don't know if they're called pigtails or ponies or whatever. I was like, oh wow, they're trying to make her another Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Oh, don't.
So then
some people, even though I've heard some people say that Liv Morgan is pretty similar to Carmella in that because she's built from the same area and almost a similar personality, although Liv Morgan seems a little more toned down.
The next match is before this match happened, I got a really funny text, and like I didn't know at this time Delisha was doing what she was doing. I'll get into what she was doing during this match. The next match is the Breezango versus the Bludgeon Brothers. And Tom Zambino texts me saying, what do you think is going to be longer? This match or you know how before this match they had they do all the announcers, like the Hindi announcers, the Chinese announcers, the Russian, right? And then they do like German and Spanish and Japanese and one more, French. And they go through all this. So Tom Zambino texts me, he's like, what do you think is going to be longer? That announcer's introduction segment or this match? And I started laughing. And then like you texted me like right when the match ended, like a stopwatch because you timed it. It was like a minute and 38 seconds.
I don't know if you can you see
that?
1 minute 58 seconds.
Right. So, but basically the only notes I have for this match is the Bludgeon Brothers squash Brett Breezango in less than 2 minutes. That's what was expected, but I think Breezango's better off just doing those backstage segments, kind of like how they kind of relinquished Goldust and Booker T to those back in the Attitude Era or whatever you want to call it. They're like more like that backstage characters rather than. I'm sure they're talented wrestlers, but like right now there's too much going on that they're never gonna get a shot. I don't think. I don't know. How'd you feel about this match?
I don't know. I mean, what was there to feel? I mean, you knew they were gonna get squashed. I don't know. They're really entertaining. They seem to get over with the crowd, at least with those backstage shows, because they hardly ever have a wrestling match anymore. But I feel like they could get on a good run, but I feel like the tag team is just so serious right now that there might not be a spot for them. But even if it's just like a little mid-level or low mid-level feud with somebody, I don't know. They could get a good run going. I don't know about as far as title reigns, but they could get something going.
I could see like a good tag team tournament happening on SmackDown. They got a lot of young talent.
Yeah.
Breezango would be. Tom says Breezango would work better if they dropped the gimmicks of the selfie stick and Dancing with the Stars music. Who knows? So that you would expect that to be the buffer match, but that wasn't. Then we had two pretty decent matches in a row after that. The final two matches. The first one being which was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura, and they had two special guest referees, Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. And the stipulation was if Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn lose, they'd be fired from the WWE, not just SmackDown, but the WWE. So did you see them losing? Probably not. Owens and Zayn started a pretty solid attack against both Shinsuke and Orton. Then Nakamura was able to come in and launch a bunch of blistering knees and stuff on KO, and then he put him in the triangle choke. This is when like both refs kind of got involved, and it was like either was it a pin or like a submission kind of thing, and it was like they both didn't know what to do, and they're kind of fighting over the two referees are fighting over. So then like eventually they said, okay, this half of the ring, Daniel Bryan's like, this half of the ring is mine, this half of the ring is yours, and it was like some stupid gimmick like that. The action tumbled to the outside where we saw Kevin Owens' body splash Nakamura through the announcer's table. That was a cool spot. Randy Orton hit the RKO on Zayn, but Owens broke the pinfall up. And then Zayn and Orton exchanged a series of roll-ups, which fell into Daniel Bryan's territory. But Shane slid in and went 1, 2, and stopped on 3. He didn't want to count the 3 for Sami Zayn. And then Daniel Bryan got mad. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? You're a disgrace to the referee and whatever. And then while Shane's back was turned, Zayn rolled up Orton, and this was in Shane's territory of counting. And Bryan slid in and did a 1, 2, 3, really fast count, 1, 2, 3, and Sami Zayn and Owens won. And like this was, I don't know, it was a weird match. I don't even know how to explain it. It was good action though, and the whole referee thing was kind of weird. I didn't know what to say about it. I know what all these guys are like in limbo, and what Tom Samuel was saying in the chat is like they're just killing time for this until Nakamura wins the Rumble, which is what I was saying. Like I don't know how many pay-per-views ago. Like I said, is it going to be AJ Styles winning the Royal Rumble to face Nakamura, or Nakamura winning the Rumble to face AJ Styles? And that's looking like the route we're going with that. But yeah, I don't know. This match was all right. All the competitors are great in it, except for you don't like somebody. And but I didn't really know much about Sami Zayn. I've always seen him wrestle, but like I feel like as a heel, his persona is so much better.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yeah, this match was pretty good. I mean, 3 of the 4 are always going to put in good work. Yeah, this match was basically about Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. Let's be honest. Eventually about one of them going heel, so to speak. Even though I can't see Daniel Bryan ever going heel with the crowd reaction he gets. I just mean as far as the crowd is always going to cheer him. I'm wondering if this will lead to a Daniel Bryan returning to the ring, possibly, maybe at WrestleMania to face Shane.
He shouldn't wait. He shouldn't face Shane. I was thinking that maybe it'll be at WrestleMania, but Shane is not like a protective wrestler. He's just a guy who does crazy stuff, right? So like you need someone to protect Bryan because he's an injured wrestler, right? If you think about it, technically he's medically cleared, but you want a wrestler that will protect him, not a guy who just does crazy stunts. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree, but I feel like that's what they're building towards. Because I feel like Bryan is like, be like, you know what, I'm gonna peace out and go back to Ring of Honor. And because I think it's Ring of Honor where Cody Rhodes is right now, saying he's gonna get 10,000 people in the arena. Anyway, that's a different story. Anyway, I feel like WWE wants to keep Daniel Bryan because he still sells shirts and merch and people love him. But I feel like Daniel will be like, yo, I'm getting cleared left and right, except for you guys. I want to wrestle. It's pretty sad, actually. Anyway, so I feel like this whole match is just building up towards Shane and Daniel with a little bit of Sami Zayn and Owens thrown in there. Although I do like their yup movement. I want a shirt.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. And Randy Orton continues to get paid. So yeah.
That's what Tom David was saying in the chat. Orton's the name you're thinking of. He's awful and stale. Yeah, so Owens and Zayn get to keep their job for another day.
Yeah.
The final match of the evening was for the WWE Championship, where AJ Styles fought the modern-day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal. And unfortunately, my dad did not watch the match with me because then we might have had a different outcome. I don't know. But Jinder started off the match with using sheer brutality to dominate early on. Mahal continued his onslaught by throwing AJ into the metal barricade and followed up with a slam on the table on the outside. So this injured AJ's ribs, but he endured. AJ's speed and technical skill allowed him to get back into the match and disrupt the challenger's momentum. He hit a Pele and then a 450 splash, went for the pin, but was interrupted by the Singh brothers. He then went off on the Singh brothers by hitting a flying forearm and a Styles clash on them. With this distraction, Mahal hit the Khalas, and then was probably who was counting right there? Shane McMahon. It was probably the slowest count I've ever seen. It was like a 1, 2. I'm like, count normally, man. Freaking Jinder Mahal won that match there. I'm gonna tweet and I don't know. That's not fair. he counted so slowly. Well, anyway, because Mahal was so distraught, he's like, let me just go for the Styles clash. AJ reversed into a calf crusher, which I don't know if Jinder tapped. I don't know. His hand might have had a spasm, and that went like that. I don't think he tapped. So, in my eyes, Jinder Mahal deserved a rematch because I don't think he tapped. It was an arm spasm. And second of all, it was a slow count. That's what I think. And yeah, so AJ Styles is still your champion, unfortunately. I mean, I love AJ Styles, but Jinder Mahal, come on.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match. I felt, I don't know, like Jinder has been doing so great lately, and his promos have been really great, and I don't know how I feel. I can't get the words out. That now he doesn't have the belt when he's doing so well. I feel like this would have been the time to really either have him still have had it or have gotten it, because this was probably on TV one of his best matches that they let him do. They really let him showcase what he can actually do in a ring without the Singh brothers getting involved most of the match. So I just found that very unfortunate. But I am.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm just really still anxious to see him still be in the ring in that title picture reign somehow.
On the chat, Tom Zamini goes, Jinder should be fighting for the US title, and he would have been a cool opponent for Corbin. I agree with that. Imagine having an Indian guy win the. I mean, not that the races or anything ethnicity has to do anything with the title, but like he could use that in his gimmick. Is what I'm saying. Like he's like, oh, like I'm so good that like I can win the US title and be the face of America, an Indian American, like being the face of an America. I'm the face of 1 billion people back in India. Now I'm the face of America too. That would have been a cool like gimmick or story to run with, had he, if that's his next step. But like right now, Ziggler, I don't know if he's a face or a heel or what's going on. I just want to see him fall off to the wayside. That they just used him to get that deal with India, WWE India to go through and all that.
Yeah.
I don't. So does Joe have any thoughts does he want to give his thoughts for the top the low point, high point, and overall grade? Is he around for that?
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Despite the dog's insistence. But I'd say that the championship match was pretty good because like she said, Jinder, it was probably the best match Jinder's had in the whole time he's been in the WWE title picture. I mean, and I'm not surprised that AJ kept it because now it seems like they might just be building it up to where AJ basically keeps the title until WrestleMania and has a nice long reign. And I mean, and if there's a guy you're going to give it to have that nice long reign, then AJ is a good choice because he's very over. He's very over no matter whether he's a heel or a face, and he's got the talent to back it up. I would say high point of the night. I would say the high point is the tag team match because that was definitely cranking on all cylinders. Low point, definitely the women's match, just because of how it seemed like they just threw all the other women out there as lumberjacks, simply to get them on the screen, to get them screen time during the pay-per-view, to get them on the card. I feel like maybe it would have been better if they actually had if we had Becky Lynch make her return either at the beginning of the match as the last Lumberjill or Jack, or as her coming down either midway through the match or at the end or after the match to make the big save, so to speak. But otherwise, that women's match was just really clunky and not well put together. I mean, I figured Charlotte's going to retain, but that whole thing with Natty at the end of it all just didn't really make any sense. It just she just came through. She just came across as somebody that's as a little kid who didn't get their way and is now throwing a big temper tantrum because nobody cares about them, yada yada yada. And I just wasn't buying it. Overall grade for the pay-per-view, I would have to say like Daniel Bryan, B+. I mean, most of the matches were pretty good, except for the women's match. I expected the Bludgeon Brothers to defeat Breezango in fairly quick fashion, so that wasn't a disappointment. But otherwise, it was a pretty good pay-per-view.
Before we go to Alicia, we have our roving reporter, our Brock Lesnar correspondent. He's not going to come on camp today, but he wants to give his little piece on that. His low point, he agrees with Joe, is a women's match. His high point was the Aiden English getting a title shot, and his overall grade was a D. D like David. All right, so Alicia, to you.
I'm kind of the same. The high point for me was the tag team match because that was the one I was just the most visually invested in. Because everyone was putting in their work. Low point, it's got to be that Divas match. I always want to look forward to the Divas. I mean, I'm sorry, the women's matches because they're all supremely talented, but it didn't do it for me this time. I was disappointed. Because it could have been great. My overall grade, I think I'm gonna say probably B minus. It was for the most part, I was intrigued with what was going on, but the match kind of brought it down, and then overall, because with some storylines, I'm not sure where they're gonna go next, but overall, pretty good. I was satisfied.
I felt like it's gonna be a clean sweep all the way through for all of us, actually, in what we agree with. But for me, it felt like a roller coaster that went down and then came back up a little bit. With it started off really hot with the Dolph match, the U.S. title match, as well as the tag team match, and then it went down after that, and then it came back up towards the last two matches in a way. So that's how I felt about it. The low point for me, I'm gonna agree with all of you guys. The women's match, I just saw it was unnecessary. All the stuff for having a lumberjack match, the natty thing at the end. All of it, they just dropped the ball on so much. And I think I've been saying that a lot with the women's division lately. Besides a few matches here and there, I've been saying the women's match division has been really, the writing staff has been not doing, creative team is not doing well with it. Conversely, for the high point is the tag team match, and I've been saying that for the longest time for the last few weeks too. Thank God that the tag team match, the tag team match that they've had. And Tom is saying this pay-per-view actually made me more interested in watching the terrible Raiders game. And yes, the tag team match is great. I love the tag team division now. We were saying how it was in turmoil back when we started with the show AfterMat at WrestleMania. We don't know what's going to happen now. It's kind of I know it got an nice injection when the Hardys came, but the Hardys haven't really been in the tag team division really. So without them, it's been amazing. So even I know it's a different side, but altogether, they're that spark that started it all, and they had those great matches with I guess Sheamus and Cesaro, I guess it was, throughout the first few months that they were there. Now they've kind of taken a back step, and everyone else has just been great in the tag team division. And overall, I give this a C. I didn't really like it. Like I said, it started off really hot, then just went down and went back up. So it was average it out to a C. That's how I feel. So before we talk about where you can find us, I just want everyone to know that it's been a great year. I want to thank Alicia, Eric Monroe also, who started off with us, and Joe too, especially for joining us and with the fact checking, and Tom Zambino, who's our newest member of the family. I think we had a great year. I want to wish happy holidays and happy New Year to everyone because we won't see you guys for a while now. But it's been fun. And now the next folder that we're starting is our 2018 WWE folder. So that's going to start with the Royal Rumble. But interesting note about the Royal Rumble is that the bunch of us, our AfterMat family, is actually going to be there for that weekend, I should say. Delisha already lives there, but I will be going down, and you will probably see us on Twitter posting videos and taking pictures and stuff. I think we're going to NXT together, right? And then you're not? No, we're not.
Yeah, we'll be at NXT, and then we'll hang out with you in Old City.
Okay, yeah, we're going to the bar after, or whatever that place is called.
Before, because it'll be closed when we get out. Anyway, yeah, well, you'll see us all weekend.
Yeah, so because what's happening is I'm going down to Philly to see them. That's basically it. So you'll see me because I'm going to Royal Rumble and stuff like that. So, and I'll probably be hanging out with Eric and Delisha and Joe on the weekend whenever we're not at wrestling stuff, but we'll see you guys at dinners and stuff, whatever. Dinner at the bar, and you gotta take me to get cheesesteak, and you gotta take me to see the Rocky statue and all that kind of stuff that we missed out last time in Philly. Whenever we're free, when I'm not doing wrestling stuff with Raj, you got to take me to all those places.
Raj can come too.
Oh yeah, Raj can come too. I'm just saying, because Raj and I are going to Royal Rumble and all that together. So unfortunately, we won't have the AfterMat the night after because I will be at Raw also. So because I got like a 4-day package, so Raj and I will be at Raw and SmackDown and NXT and Royal Rumble. So we won't have. I don't know when we're gonna do it, but stay tuned to our Twitters and our AfterMat Twitter to see when we're actually gonna do the Royal Rumble recap of the pay-per-view recap of Royal Rumble. That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
Have you seen the advertisement for this new Facebook Live show WWE's
gonna
be doing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a mix. Is it a
mixed? Yeah, mixed tag division, and like it's like kind of like the Cyber Monday thing we did, where you got to pick the tag teams who go together, but like I feel like it's all staged already. It's like already picked, and then they just show the poll, and it's like, oh, this person got it. Like
yeah.
I feel like
I'm just saying they're counting it as like some sort of tournament, but I'm like,
I think it is a tournament or something. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 12-week thing.
Yeah. And I keep seeing this joke on what do you think is going to get more numbers, the Facebook Live or 205?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Well, they rhyme, so it's good. Oh, I guess they both end in live, right? 205 Live and Facebook Live, or whatever. So, Delisha, where can we find you? What have you been up to?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Delisha_Renee. I'm just gearing up for the holidays. So I haven't been really doing much lately, but I'll be going back into my article writing next year. You can also find me on the various channels with OSP, YouTube channel, and just checking in all the videos that go on to Odd-Shape channel, Geek to My Nerd, and all the Kingslayer streams, stuff like that. Checking those out throughout the week.
And what about Joe? I know we gotta say it every week.
Yes, you can find Joe on Facebook. You can try and add him. You can always try and see if he'll add you on there at Joseph Butler. It's a picture of me and him always, I think. So try to add him and see what happens.
And then also we got to say for our Tom Zambino, our roving reporter, you can find him on Twitter at RoadRaider3 and also on YouTube channel, Zed Reviews. So he just wrapped his season up of Cars and Popcorn, but you can talk to him about cars, tweet at him about cars and stuff. And if you have any questions about Brock Lesnar, you can talk to him. I'm sure he'll know everything about Brock Lesnar. And as for me, I'm the People's Champ Cal. You can find me at Twitter at VinJDevu. Make sure you subscribe to the Kingslayer Network for all this, and we'll be back for the Royal Rumble sometime delayed. Remember, because I'll be at Raw and SmackDown, so maybe we might do it like on a Wednesday or Thursday. We'll see depending on scheduling. But stay tuned to our Twitters. I want to thank everyone once again. Tom Zambino, Joe, and then of course my tag team partner Delisha. I want to wish everyone happy holidays and happy new year, and we'll see you in 2018 after Royal Rumble. Bye everybody.
Bye guys.
Laters.